Hello, my name is Danye, and I'll be your host for today's pre-trip. We're going to go over the California school bus pre-trip. Now, as you see, I'm walking up to my bus. I'm working my way from top to bottom, making sure that my lettering is clear, making sure all of my coverings for my lights are on, they're not broken, checking my mirrors, windshield, bumper, and also my wiper blades to make sure they're malleable and they're not sliding off. Then I'm working my way around to my doors, checking the glass, making sure it's not broken and it's not dirty. I can see through it. The rubbering on the doors, making sure that it is intact, checking my stairwells and my handrails, making sure that they are properly secure, as well as my modesty panel. Now we're going to examine our inspection approval certificate, also known as our CHP 292. We're going to be certain that the year, make, and model of the bus, as well as the bus number, is present. Your company name is present, and the signature of the inspector is there, and the date of inspection should be every 13 months. So this date is 4/2/2020. The next inspection will be 5/2/2021. Also, in your bottom left-hand corner will be your passenger capacity amount. And this would be a great segue into your first aid kit. Now that you know how many passengers your bus can hold, you know how many units you should have in your first aid kit. Now we're going to inspect the first aid kit. In your first aid kit, you should have 24 units because this is a 60-passenger bus. A trick that I like to use to help me remember passenger unit ratio is starting from the middle. So for 17 to 42 passengers, I should have 16 units. 1 to 16 passengers, I should have 10 units. And 43 passengers and up, I should have a 24-unit first aid kit. Here, we're going to be certain that there's no moisture or debris. The seal is intact. All of our units are present and new. And I'm making sure my fans are secure, making sure my mirror is secure. This I use to release the air and use my front door as an emergency exit. So the bus must be in the on position for me to check the warning lights. Turn that on, make sure that all my warning lights are working. Look at that, it's like a Christmas tree. And then my gauge here is actually this is my dual air, and it has 2 needles representing the primary and the secondary tanks. I'm gonna turn the bus on. Now, with my bus running, this is when I check my gauges. Fuel, oil temp, water temp, transmission temp, RPMs, miles per hour. Now I have my mirror adjusters here. I'm going to check my right mirror zone and left mirror zone, making sure to see 1 inch of the bus, making sure I see at least 200 feet behind the bus, making sure I see the rear tires touching the ground. Next, I have my rear heater, I have my boost pump and midshift heater. I can hear those. My noise cancellation button turns the sound off. Air horn, master flasher, indicator lights for my ambers on here, indicator lights for my reds, my stop sign arm came out, door opens and shuts, my headlights and my clearance lights are in this button, panel adjuster,
windshield wipers. Low, medium, high. Make sure there's washer fluid and it sprays. Perfect. Okay, here's my oil, my water tank, my oil pressure and my water temperature. Sorry, my RPMs, miles per hour, my fuel, my battery should be between 12 and 14, and my air gauge, both needles are in 1 gauge. Park brake, horn, hazards, I can see them flashing inside, left turn signal, right turn signal. I'm going to leave my left on, I'm going to leave my amber lights on, my mileage and hours, ignition, park brake engine, the gears for it, and my park regen button, reverse neutral drive, up and down shift for that, wet tank, front tank, rear tank drains, left fan and right fan, low and high are working, and my cruise control is here, my defroster, and my driving here. Sorry. And here's the controls for that. My service brake, my gas pedal, and the seatbelt works properly. My two-way radio, my fog lamp, my front, rear, and driver dome lights are all working. And those off. My strobe light, which we'll check outside, and my heaters for my mirrors. Got that going. Okay, we're gonna go outside. Left turn signal is on, and I'm gonna come back here and check for my strobe light. It's on, and my fog lamps are on.
Working my way from top to bottom. My windows, no cracks, no debris, clearance lights. Then I'm checking my electrical compartment. Nothing looks out of place there, and the door is securely fastened. I am checking my windshield washer compartment, also securely fastened. My tire covering is in place. My front tire has at least 4/32 tread depth, and there's no cuts or bulges in the side of the tire. The rim has no cracks. There's my tire stem, and all of my lug nuts are fast, and there is no rust. Thumping my tire and checking my mud flap. The wording along the side of my bus is all there, no letters missing, and the California ID is in place. Emergency exit as well, and my door is operational from the outside, locks into place. The rubber in between the door and the seal is all intact. It's not frayed. Now I'm checking my compartment to make sure that it's operational and there is nothing out of place underneath the bus in the undercarriage. Checking it and locking it back into place. Next, I'm going to close it. Then I'm going to check the rear tire. Same thing here. My rear tire covering's in place. My tires are at least 2/32 each tire. Nothing in between the tires. A tire thump for each tire. And my side of my tire has no cuts or bulges. My tire stem is in place. And all of my lug nuts are fastened and secure, no rust. And I'm checking for that second tire stem, because remember, we have 2 tires back here, so we're accounting for 2. Then I'm going to my bus number and my reflector. Then once I make my way to the back, I'm checking all of the items I checked in the front plus others. So my amber lights are working properly. My left turn signal is working properly. My clearance lights, school bus emergency exit, stop when red lights flash, all present, legible, and intact. My rear emergency exit opens from the outside. License plate is intact. My bumper is also not hanging. It is where it should be. And my tailpipe is not sticking out more than 2 inches from the bus.
Also, be certain to look underneath the bus. This bus, the engine is in the rear of the bus, so you want to be certain that there's no leaks or anything that you can notice that's coming from that compartment on the ground. Next, I'm going to check everything that I did on the left side of my bus on the right side, except 2 compartments that were not on the left side. My battery compartment, making sure there's no corrosion or excess debris, and my fueling compartment, making sure the cap is secure and the door locks in place.
Now from here, we are checking our low beams, our right turn signal, and our red light flashers. Then I'm working my way, and this second round is going to be really quick. Our stop sign is out, so we're going to check it. We're making sure that the stop is legible on both sides. It is secure to the bus, and both lights are flashing on both sides. All right. And now we're checking from the rear. Our red lights are flashing and our right turn signal is working. Right turn signal is working down the side of the bus as well.
Note, the bus is not running. Do not leave your driver's compartment with the bus in gear and the engine running.
Do it. Take that bus out of gear. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start with our the rest of our emergency equipment. We're gonna check our fire extinguisher, checking the date, making sure that it was checked January 26, 2021. So the next time it should be checked is January 26, 2022. Making sure that the unit is charged, the pin is intact, it's sealed properly, and it's secure. Reflectors. Come out, around, take one out, and I'm gonna open these up, fasten them, make sure it's steady, it's not leaking anything, and it's secure. Close them up. And I'll rotate these daily so that all of them get the proper check. So I'm going to go in and check all of my seats and seat belts, making sure they are have an emergency exit here as well. Audio and a visual. Another emergency exit here, same thing. Audio, visual. I'm gonna close it. Emergency exit. Same here. I will turn it, push it up in case of an emergency. Now I'm gonna open 2 of my windows on each side, making sure they work properly. Last but not least, checking my stop sign, making sure it's legible on both sides and it's secure. Okay. Now I'm going to do the brake check. So, starting with my cut in, I'm going to depress my service pedal. So brake, wait for the needles to stop, and I'm going to check. So I should have a cut in at no less than 85 psi. I'm watching my needles, they're still shaking, but it's not moving. Then another deep press, wait for them to stop shaking. There it goes. Wait, see if it fits in. Okay, so it cut in like 105. 105 psi, something like that. Next is the cut out, and it should cut out at no more than 130 psi. So I'm going to just go ahead and assist the compressor with building up air. And I'm going to wait for the governor to signal for the compressor to stop. Building air into the system. Okay, I heard the air release and my needles stopped moving. Very important. Needles stopped moving. Okay, next I'm going to do my static test. Nothing is pressed, not even my foot. I'm just hovering over the brake. And I'm going to wait and make sure I lose no more than 2 psi in 1 minute. And I'm watching my needles and I'm watching my clock. Press my service pedal and release my park brake in unison. Making sure I lose no more than 3 psi in 1 minute. Starting now. Okay, so it's good. I didn't lose 3 psi. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the bus to the on, or turn the key to the on position, and I'm gonna drain my primary tank. And I'm gonna watch my needle. And what I'm looking for is to see that 1 needle moves because I'm draining 1 tank. 1 needle should be going down, and I should have a warning light and an audio no less than 60 psi. Audio. Now I'm going to continue to drain the tank and perform our emergency stopping test. Emergency stopping test proves that I will have at least 1 emergency stop in the case that I lost air in 1 of my tanks. Okay, Miss Carolyn, I'm gonna have you hold on. Seatbelts on. Park brake release. Loose and dry. Let's blow up. Release 5 miles an hour, and there's my stop. I'm gonna go ahead and assist the air into the system, build it up to at least 100 psi, and then I will perform the park brake test. And what this does is, it shows that my park brake is working properly on its own, not with me pressing the service pedal. I'm gonna go ahead and release again, put it in gear. I'm gonna, hold on, Miss Carolyn. Okay, pull forward, at least 5 miles an hour. That was a good test. Next, I'm gonna do 2 service stops before I leave the yard. You can edit that part out. So, last but not least, after my 2 steps, or I'll do my 2 stops before I leave the yard, Now I'm going to go ahead and do my child checkmate test. First test I'm doing is checking to make sure that the alarm system is working to alert me if I haven't performed my child checkmate. Lights off, doors open, getting ready to leave. Well, wait a minute, you didn't check for kids. Wait. And that's my warning to let me know. And then in order to deactivate it, at the end of my day, I leave my doors shut, turn my lights off, and then I go back and I press my child checkmate button.